Hey everybody, welcome back for another day of trigonometry. Everybody's favorite study of triangles. Yes! Where we can all figure out all these fun distances and lengths, and you guys love it so much, right? Right. Okay. So, remember SOHCAHTOA, right? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, is the so part. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, is the ka part of SOHCAHTOA. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so that's basically our trick to setting these up, and you need a calculator with a sine, cosine, tangent button on it in order to do all these fun things. So if you have one, great. Again, I'm pretty sure your phone does it as well. Let me just double check. There are obviously going to be apps, but if you turn your phone sideways, yeah, it has the sine, cosine, tangent on there as well. So the default calculator on your phone does it as well if you just have your phone. Okay, I like my calculator though. It's my calculator. Okay, so let's go through do some problems. So the first things first with any of these trig function problems, and we're solving for a missing side length, is we need to look at what information is given. Okay, so we're given an angle, and that's usually the angle that kind of determines if you have an adjacent or an opposite side, right? The side that shares the angle's length, because you're not going to have the right triangle. It's going to be one of these two side ones. Is going to basically, the side next to that angle is going to be your adjacent, and the one that it doesn't touch is going to be the opposite. And then obviously the longest side is the hypotenuse, and that's the side that's opposite the right angle. So in this problem, we're dealing with an adjacent side and a opposite side. Now, SOHCAHTOA, what has adjacent and opposite? That would be tangent. So basically what the trig function says, if I take the tangent of angle 69 degrees, it should equal opposite over adjacent, right? So opposite is 13, adjacent is x. I don't know what that is, right? So I need to get the x by itself. So this is where I multiply each side by x, and I get x times the tangent of 69 equals 13. Then you divide by the tangent of 69 to each side. And again, this always plays out the exact same. So if you ever have an x in the denominator over here, you basically know that it's just going to flip places with the number on the other side. Okay? So what ends up happening is you get x is equal to 13 over the tangent of 69. So this is where our calculator comes into, doing all the work for us. So we plug in 13 divided by the tangent of 69, and that should give me my side length. So on the worksheet, let me double check what we are rounding to. Nearest tenth. So rounding that to the nearest tenth, I would get 4.99 would actually be 5. So 5.0. And I didn't put inches or anything there, so that's my answer. All right, let's try another one. So this time I've got the angle right here. I've got an adjacent side, and I've got the hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine, right? So I'd have cosine of 55 degrees is going to equal, and the S next to my 5s really shows how much they look the same. Ignore that. and I'd have adjacent over hypotenuse. So 11 over x. And again, like I said, it's going to be the same thing. If I multiply the x, I'm going to end up just switching, whatever word you want to use, those two numbers. So you would end up with x is equal to 11 divided by cosine of 55. That's an S. Okay, plug that in your calculator. So 11 divided by cosine of 55, and you get 19.17 rounded to the nearest tenth would be 19.2. So that longest side is going to be 19.2 something measurement long, and that'd be your answer. Not too tough, right? Let's do one more, just make sure we got it. So here we have an angle, and then we've got an opposite side and a hypotenuse. That's going to be sine, right? Opposite over hypotenuse. So you'd set it up as sine of 41 is equal to the opposite, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 18. And this time we aren't moving the x to the other side, so all we have to do is get rid of this 18. So we'd multiply it by 18 to each side. All right? Which sets up x as being equal to 18 times sine of 41. Okay? So not too bad, right? Plug that in your calculator. 18 times sine of 41, and you get 11.80, which would round to 11.8, would be the length of that opposite side. Now, if you ever do this and you get a side longer than the hypotenuse, you did something wrong. But I think you guys will be just fine. If you have any questions, just let us know. We're here to help.